Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is not about such basic level typical questions like explain the difference between a role hierarchy and sharing rules. You already know such kind of questions and their answers. And you also know that the difficulty level of actual real world Salesforce interviews is quite different, is quite high. They are giving you some technical situations, describing some scenarios and asking questions around that scenario, and they are expecting a thoughtful answer from you. For example, this is the example of scenario based question. So for a given scenario, you can propose them any solution, but majorly they're observing how you think, how you approach to the solution. And that's what I'm going to teach you, how to think, how to maintain the flow of logical conversation that makes sense to them. So I'm going to start with easy level scenario based questions first. So let's see how to answer such kind of scenario based questions. Okay, so the question is, a sales manager wants to restrict the visibility of certain fields on the opportunity object to only the sales team's managers. How will you implement this in Salesforce? So those people who are new to Salesforce, when they read words like sales manager or sales team, they start to think from sales point of view or something related to sales, but the user in the question doesn't matter. So there can be sales manager, marketing manager, product manager, technical manager, anything. So the user mentioned in the question does not necessarily drive the whole scenario and drive the whole answer. It's just there for an example. Okay, so always assume there is one generic user in the question. Okay, now this generic user wants to have the access of certain fields on opportunity object. You have to think in the direction that one generic user wants to have a visibility on certain fields on some generic object. That's it. Okay, now we want to have field access. Okay, now the field access is driven by FLS. Okay, field level security controls the field access, that we know. So the certain fields should not be visible to the users other than sales manager, right? So by default, we are not going to give read access to all. So you know that there are two accesses, read and edit. So it's about visibility. So I will not give read access by default to all. Okay, so this field is hidden to all. Now I want to open up the access to the sales manager. Okay, now these are a group of users and these users need to have visibility on this field. Now they want read access. Okay, and others don't want read access. So this read access we will keep in permission set. We won't keep it by default on the field directly. We will keep in permission set and then we will assign this permission set to sales users, sales managers. Okay, on opportunity object, to certain fields I have given read access and I have assigned this permission set to the sales manager. So that's how they are going to see the fields on the opportunity page layout. Okay, so this was easy. So always start from the bottom. What is the baseline access of that field or object or record, and then start opening up the access. Okay. Then the next question, the executive team wants to monitor the overall health of sales pipeline in real time. How will you provide them this visibility in Salesforce? Okay. Now again, the rule one is, again, make it generic as much as possible. Okay, so the executive team, okay, some generic team, then sales pipeline, some generic pipeline. Okay, now you want to monitor something. This is the important word. You want to monitor the overall health of something, okay, of some random process. So when you see words like monitor the overall, the first thing comes in your mind is reports and dashboards. Okay, so this overall can be anything, overall profit, overall revenue, overall growth, anything, but that is going to come from data only, right? And how to monitor data in Salesforce? With reports and dashboard, they give you the bird's eye view, right? So the answer is simple. I would create a dashboard in Salesforce to provide the executive team with real-time insights into the sales pipeline. So when it comes to some insights, some overall monitoring, you will create a dashboard. Okay, then the dashboard would include key performance indicators such as total pipeline. Now again, these are some fancy words related to that process specific, some fancy words. Okay, so whatever they mention in that question, you repeat those words. So you have to sing their song. You know that the answer is just one word answer, but you can't just say dashboard or report and just keep quiet. No, you have to form 4 to 5 sentences, then deliver that answer, in a better way, in a better presentation. So you can say, I would also configure dashboard components to display trend analysis comparisons against the previous periods to help identify areas for improvement. So this last sentence is like a cherry on the cake. So you enhanced your answer, you added your own thought to the answer and delivered that. Okay. So even though these are just admin questions, but it's going to represent you as a thinker, as a problem solver. Okay. Then the next question, the IT department wants to ensure that all Salesforce users adhere to a standard naming convention to account records. How would you enforce the naming convention in the Salesforce? Now, again, rule number one, generalize it. Don't care which department, IT department, sales department, doesn't matter. Then, rule number two is try to capture the main important word in the question. Just like in the dashboard question, we spotted the word monitor and overall, and then it clicked, it was dashboard, right? So in this question, the main important word is enforce. So when you want to enforce some rule or some behavior on users, how will you do that? Now here you want that all users should enter a name on account records in same fashion, in same manner. So suppose I want to have first letter capital in all user records, and if someone starts the name with small letter, then the system should throw an error. How will you do that? So there are different ways to do that. Okay, the advanced ways are flows, apex, but you don't need to go to apex or flow directly. No, these are wrong choices over here. So the first thing should come in your mind is validation rule. Okay, now there are lots of functions in the validation rule that will help you to form any kind of logic that will ensure that users are entering the data in the correct format or in whatever predefined format. Okay, and if the logic is too complex and it's beyond validation rule, of course you will go to flow and apex. Okay, so answer to this question is I would implement a naming convention validation rule in Salesforce to enforce consistency in account record names. The validation rule would compare the entered account name against the predefined naming convention criteria and prevent users from scraping the record. Okay, so this is how you will answer to this question. Then the last question is, a custom object called projects has been created to track customer projects. The sales team wants to be able to link opportunities to specific projects. How would you establish this relationship in Salesforce? So suppose there is one opportunity and it's connected to project 1, project 2, etc. Okay. So on project object, you will create lookup relationship with opportunity. Okay, when you see the use case of interconnecting two objects, the answer is always lookup or master detail. Now why not master detail over here? Because suppose there is project 3, it can exist without any opportunity, it might not be related any opportunity yet, maybe the decision is in progress. So when you create a master detail relationship, the field becomes mandatory, and in lookup you can actually leave it blank and save the record. And in master detail, the child inherits the security considerations from parent. That might not be right for projects object, because project object can have some different security controls than opportunity. So the safest option over here is lookup relationship, right? So you can say that on project you will create a lookup field for opportunity, and on opportunity you can actually add the related list to display all related projects tagged to that opportunity. Okay, so you can add one more point over here, that you can add a related list on opportunity to show all projects. So this is how you have to answer. So if they ask any sub questions or counter question your answer, like why not master data relationship, so you have to back up your answer of why lookup relationship with again the logical reason. Okay, so that's all about this video. So I'll create such more videos on Salesforce interview questions where I will explain how to answer the more difficult questions based on different topics like apex, flows, integration, etc. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel and like this video and share this whole playlist with your friends. Thank you.